Welcome back to Coldstream Rod Shop. I'm Derek Fraser. In this episode, we're going to start working on the second 5-window coupe. Not sure how to distinguish them. I guess we're going to call this the Moncton Coupe because that's where it came from, and we'll call this one the New York Coupe because that's where it came from. The first step is basically going to clear all of the parts out, take a better look of what we've got. Once I get everything all cleared out of it, what I'll be doing is installing, I'm going to have to use our 5-window or our firewall, that is, from our 32 Ford Roadster, position it in here, and then basically bring the cowl up square with that. That's the first step on it from reconstruction. So in this episode, I'm going to go as far as I can over the next week and show you what we've done with it and move this project along. Here's a tour of some of the parts that came with the 5-window coupe. Not all of it we're going to use. There's a lot of duplicates. The intent is basically to use the best of what the gentleman supplied for us. And then in some cases I'm going to make parts. In some cases he's going to send me some other parts. But he's been collecting bits and pieces over the years. He just said, here's all of it. Use the best of what you've got to try and build me or rebuild my 5-window coupe. Over here, got a couple front quarters left and right, plus a bunch of pieces from the B-pillar. Underneath there's some parts of the subframe. There's a couple B-pillar parts. There's cowl vent sections here. There's subframe sections here. There's internal pieces. Some of it's in really rough shape, and he fully knew that, but you never know what you can use. Then in the back of the vehicle, he did supply a floor, some more subframe pieces. And again, no real expectation that every single piece was going to be used, but it's like, might as well take it all, strip it down, take a look at what you got, and then make the best of whatever we've got here. So I'm going to keep on pulling this stuff out and then get ready to put the firewall in and try and do some alignment on this thing. I took everything out of the back of the 5-window here and laid everything out over this side. So there's nothing there, including no subrails. So basically the body is supported off of the B-pillar and some 2x4s. I put our firewall in here just to basically, that's the starting point. Right now the next step is going to be to support the body up, bring the cowl section onto the firewall, clamp it in place, and that'll get most of the alignment into where the A-pillar is going to be. And I took the doors off as well, basically, to start the process. So going to carry on with this. I'm going to have to put something here to support the roof up as I kind of position it up onto the cowl and clamp it in place. But as the camera lady can show you, there's not much of the original subrails here. I was talking with the owner, and he actually has found a complete set of reproduction subrails from front to back that he's going to send me. We have bits and pieces to cobble it together, which I'm not averse to, but now that he's located a complete set of subrails, I'll wait for those to come. It'll just make my life a whole lot easier. Bottom of the A-pillars, I'm going to probably have to go into the pile over there and cut these off and put something good on. But that'll happen after the cowl is squared up onto the firewall. So going to carry on with this. Well, let's see how far I can get this week. And if not, we'll start working on the Moncton Coupe instead while we're waiting for parts. I now have the cowl on the firewall. It took quite a while to get it on because the cowl, I think, was bent a little bit. It had to be centered. There's 2 bolts across the top here that have to line up basically in the middle of the firewall. I'm going to drill those out through the seal here. I put a brand new seal on. That's our firewall from the Roadster. I have the cowl bolts all tightened down evenly, so everything is centered where I want it to be. I can't really go any further, as we talked about earlier. Essentially, the subframe is pretty toast, and the owner kind of knew that. he is actually, or he has already sent an entire subframe that he bought somewhere. I think it's a reproduction one, but that's fine. He sent it in pieces and it's on its way. Hopefully it'll be here in a couple days. I'm going to do exactly what I just said. I'm going to cut this subframe out. I'll take it off the bottom of the A-pillars. I'll most likely have to replace the bottom of the A-pillars, but he's given me probably 6 or 7 bottoms of really good A-pillars over there I can pick from. So what I'm going to do for the rest of the video, like I said, I would go on to work and make more parts for both of these 5 windows. So if you come on over here to buy the bead roller, I'll show you what I've been working on. I've made the parts up, but I'll show you how I made them, how I designed them. And I kind of got motivated by somebody from Instagram. A gentleman, Rolls-Royce Merlin, I believe he goes by it. He was making some incredible 32 Ford Roadster pieces from scratch. He messaged me and asked me for some dimensions, so I put together, this is the tray that goes in the back behind the trunk lid. You see me put these on the Roadster, but he asked me for these dimensions so that he could go make them for himself. I did them up and sent it to him, and I said, well, you know what? I need to make one for the 5 window. We had this one, which was full of body fill and bent up, which I probably could have resurrected, but I'm going to give it back to the owner of the Moncton Coupe. The one on the New York Coupe was pretty toast. So by taking the dimensions off the original one plus what we have on the Roadster, I came up with those dimensions, and then I just did a trial piece. I basically came up with a bending plan, essentially laying everything out. I bent this flange up first over on the brake. I bent this section up the second, and then I folded this edge over. And essentially all there is, there's a big bead that goes across the bottom of this. So I made 3 of these up. We'll take you over to the Roadster and I'll show you. The Roadster and the 5 window are actually the same. If it were a 3 window, they're not the same. So here, if you take a look over here, here is the piece on the Roadster right there. And over on the 5 window, right behind here, like I said, this one was pretty toast, so I either was going to resurrect one of the other pieces or make a couple of these. It's relatively straightforward. It's 18 gauge steel. It's all a matter of just getting your angles, bending it to the right angle, cutting out the pieces, and then there's a number of different holes that are drilled in and a couple tabs. So I just made 3 of them up. It goes well, I don't have everything. Goes approximately like that. And then the sheet metal tray goes behind it. So knocked everything down there. So we've got one made for each one of the 5 windows, plus I made a spare up. That's it for the end of this video. I'm going to carry on the weekend here. The next video I'll work, like I said, on the A-pillars on the 5 window here. And if by chance the subframes get delayed, I'll just keep making parts. I'll show you the parts that we're making, and eventually we'll put them on both of the 5 windows. Anyways, that's it for this video. Hopefully you enjoyed. If you have any questions, please send me a message. I'll do my best to answer you either on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, whatever your choice is. Please like and subscribe. Everybody have a great weekend. Thanks again.